I'm JC Hill with Alvarado Street Brewery, and here's your craft beer and brewing tip of the week. From our sensory panel in Salinas between the exact same beer that is, and we'll take Mai Tai in this instance because we're brewing it all the time. And sometimes, we need yeast to harvest. So occasionally Mai Tai is brewed in the way it's always been brewed, which is a traditional dry hop at the end of fermentation. But when we've taken the traditionally brewed Mai Tai with, knockout hop enzyme Mai Tai, it's very, very interesting to see the differences between those two. And overwhelmingly, our staff has preferred the knockout hop version. And it's easy to explain why, and it really comes down to the complexity of fruit and the more concentrated hop flavor involved in the knockout hop version. And it's actually another benefit, I think, to utilizing knockout hops. For example, our 2020 crop of Mosaic was a little bit different this past year. It wasn't bad by any means, but it had a little bit of onion garlic thing going on. And that was fairly apparent in the traditional Mai Tai that we do. It kind of had a little more of a danky quality that was not present in the knockout hop version. The knockout hop version was much more refined. It had a much fruitier, polished note. The flavor was more pronounced. It wasn't as one-dimensional as the traditionally dry hopped Mai Tai. Obviously, as we get into our 2021 crop of Mosaic, we'll have to see how that works between a traditionally dry hopped Mai Tai, which has obviously been very successful over the years competitively, but we'll have to compare the results between using enzymes and knockout hops and brewing Mai Tai in the traditional fashion that we've always done. And to that point about our 2020 crop of Mosaic not quite being exceptional as we've seen it in the past, I think it goes to show that you can take hops or hop lots that have kind of a rougher edge or have maybe some sort of notes that aren't exactly in line with what you want. I think some of that is scrubbed off during fermentation, and the conversion of monoterpenes and just the increased level of hop flavor and aroma is ultimately, in our opinion, more refined. You can kind of polish those rough edges of hop lots that may or may not be up to your quality standards. The concept of double dry hopped in West Coast IPAs with knockout hops and enzymes sort of takes on new meaning in this application. You're really starting with a different canvas than you would be when you're just dry hopping in a traditional way. Double dry hop means a lot of different things to different people. Even for us, sometimes a double dry hop for us just means twice the amount of hops in a single charge or a single addition into the fermenter, or it can mean dry hopping in different stages. As is with double dry hop beers, once you get to a certain dry hop level, it just gets to be pretty absurd and you're not necessarily seeing the added benefit relative to how many pounds you're putting into the dry hop. The benefit with knockout hops is that you're setting the stage a little bit differently because you're establishing a more concentrated hop flavor upon which to add pretty much more aroma, whether it's through the use of cryo hop products or T90 pellets. We found we don't have to go as excessive with double dry hop. I mean, if we're really going for it and we really want that gut punch of hops, to the dome, look at around maybe 5 to 6 pounds per barrel if we have knockout hops already. Whereas if we didn't have knockout hops and we're just going for it on a double, triple IPA, giving it everything we got, we're probably looking, 7 to 9 pounds per barrel. It's something to experiment with. Try your own. For us, we found we don't need to add as many hops to the process because we've created so much additional flavor and aroma through biotransformation in the first place. But speaking of DDH, let's talk about hazy IPA. One thing that we found is that knockout hopping and glucosidase enzyme method doesn't really lend itself well to hazy IPA. And the main reason for that is that it tends to pull all of the proteins and yeast and polyphenols, stuff that gives you stable haze, it tends to pull it out of solution. To learn more about enzymes and biotransformation during fermentation, click the link below.